Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lorecast Eternals. Today we'll be talking about the War of Light and Death and Nagash lost. Okay, go ahead and... Okay, so welcome back to Lorecast Eternals. Hello, everyone.
We're a bunch of fucking idiots. Anywho.
A little bit. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lorecast Eternals. I'm Phil.
I really hope that this is truly recording and not doing one of these like bugs, but we're just gonna run with it because I'm pretty sure it's working.
Yeah, it should be fine. The whole thing fucking self-deletes.
Yep.
If it does, we're just like
Doing
sorry,
it over
guys.
Discord tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we could always pause it again and just compile it as it is.
You want to risk it for the biscuit, or do you want to continue?
We're going to risk it for the biscuit.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lorecast Eternals for the third time. I'm Phil.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Mitchell,
And this is Matthew.
not my brother.
Ha!
Can confirm I may or may not be a Zinchian, plan here. I may.
Anywho, shut the fuck up. Yeah, we have a guest this time. If you watched the previous other video that we're going to drop today, you know about him. Quick little recap. He friend, know nothing but AOS, may potentially ask questions that we would not think to answer because he truly knows fucking nothing.
Jon Snow.
You know nothing.
So, real quick, let's go ahead and get some announcements out of the way.
Yes. So first and foremost, we suck, and we know this is a little later than normal. We're sorry. Life's been really fucking hectic for me and Phil. Not Mitchell. Fuck him.
Hang on. Pause it real quick. Mitchell, what are you doing with my keys?
He didn't pause it.
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I meant you
thought you meant
pause.
the recording.
Oh. Yes.
That's his key
Okay.
now.
Moving
He
on.
owns it.
Back to the announcements.
You
Sorry
just
about that.
Mikey.
Yeah, shit's been really hectic for me and Phil. Just adult shit. School. I'm looking to get a new house. Blah blah blah. It's been a whole fucking shebang.
Basically, what it boils down to is this is potentially my last semester at college because I have a job interview on Thursday, and I've had to do a fair bit of work behind the scenes to try and make that happen. So if this is successfully results in a job interview, I'm going to get an actual job. And if it doesn't, then I now have a place to go do my internship, and I will be spending another semester getting an additional degree. So, yeah.
Doing more stuff.
Exactly.
Me and Jess are gonna start house hunting soon, and there's been a bunch of hectic shit involving that, as well as some other things that we'll talk about. Personal life, it's just been fucking wild. I also got sick. Everyone knows that. It's just been wild. So, how this plays into the announcement. We are going to be sticking to our one episode every 3 weeks. However, that's going to be more of a soft cap. We're going to try our best to have an episode out every 3 weeks, but we've been stressing ourselves out a lot trying to, stay on a deadline, and it's just getting harder and harder with just being an adult. So, yeah, we're going to try.
We're not even young adults anymore.
I'm almost 30. I hate it. So, yeah, we're going to try our best to stay once every 3 weeks, but that may not always happen, and we just wanted to give y'all a heads up, and we're sorry, but we're going to do our best. Next one is we are making a change to the Patreon. We're going to go ahead and take out game night from the $5 tier. This is going to fall right back into just, it's hard for us to have time to do shit like that. Hectic lives, and we've been stressing ourselves out trying to make it work into our schedules, and it kind of just doesn't fit anymore. If y'all feel the need to cancel subscriptions or downgrade, totally fine, no obligation. We appreciate every second you've been supporting us through Patreon. What we are going to do to kind of fill the gap is if you have access to our Patreon specific Discord on our server, if you ever want to hit us up hey, playing a game, want to join me or anything, if we have the time, we'll 100% jump in. So it's kind of moving to a more free-form thing where if you want to hit us up, fucking go for it. If we have the time, we'll do it. But we are taking a step back from the scheduled things just because it hasn't been working out. We've kind of been ripping our hair out trying to make it work, and we're just trying to be nice to ourselves.
Yeah, and now having said that, definitely big thank you to all of our moderators and people who have been running some of our events on our server. Ozzy and Elmsword running the book club and the monthly comps respectively. They have been doing
Excuse me, I do monthly comps. Elmsword does a way better job at quarterly
The
contests.
quarterly competitions.
quarterly comps. Sorry. Yes.
Mitchell's
No.
bitch, excuse me?
Sorry. Yes. No. My apologies. I got that backwards.
English horde.
Something like that. Anyway, which is funny because I looked directly over at you and I was like, Mitchell runs the monthly comps, and then promptly said Elmsword did, and my brain was like, why did you do that? Anyway.
Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah. But again, they've been doing a fantastic job, and thank you so much for being a part of our Discord community so far. But yeah, no, we've just been...
You guys are fucking awesome, for real.
Yeah, life has been interesting these past couple months. And thank you so much for supporting us.
As always, shout out to all of our Patreon members. You guys are fucking awesome. You give us the gas money we need to be able to do shit like this. Another shout out to Ozzy running the book club and He-Man and that shit. If any of you want to be a part of the book club, I 100% recommend it. He's been doing a great fucking job. And yeah, if you want in, just let me know. Hit me up on Discord. I'll give you the associated role, so it's easier to tag y'all whenever they're doing discussions and whatnot. It's a great place to go and read some books, get some knowledge. It's pretty fun. I'm gonna shout out Elmswood one more time. I love you. You've been doing a fucking fantastic job. Shout out again to all of our moderators. Yeah, you guys are awesome. We suck, and thank you for being okay with that. That aside, I'm pretty sure that's it for announcements.
Mitchell.
I guess. No.
I think that's all of our announcements, yeah?
Sorry. We're making this recording at 1:30 in the morning because we have horrible time management skills, and Mitchell is sleepy. He eepy.
I'm a little eepy.
Okay, so
the missile is eepy.
The Mitchell knows where he is because he knows where he isn't, and by subtracting where he is from where he isn't. Do you want to go ahead and start us off then, so you can kind of get your talking out of the way and then take a nap?
Okay. Wait a minute.
We're going over the War of Light and Death, by the way.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, the War of Light and Death was the war between... excuse me. It was the war between Teclis and Nagash.
Yes. Shaiish and Hish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is specifically the war that kind of ends through the entirety of the Necroquake. It's the...
yeah.
I believe it was the second to last book of the... what are those called? Broken Realm series.
I mean, it's not going to matter because Ozzy's going to tell us what it is. And whenever we release this episode, and 30 minutes later, he's like,
Actually.
It's actually the only book I'm missing over there of the Broken Realm series.
And before we get into it, I just want to say this can basically all be summed in as Nagash going, fine, I'll do it myself, but still failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things about the War of Light and Dark is that technically
Death,
there's... Death, yes, sorry. Light
that is a big difference.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because Death is... I'm going to stop talking. Mitchell,
Dark,
why have you given me a stroke?
Dark is Ulgu.
Yeah. But it's actually... You can technically call it 3 separate wars in one because there's 3 different campaigns.
No. Well,
it's 5 wars, technically.
No,
yeah,
it's like... It's mainly...
No, 6, sorry.
No, campaigns is definitely the better way to put it.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Because,
campaigns.
there's a lot of different campaigns in a war. But it all really started because Teclis was like, hey... Well, no. Arcan went into Hish first, and then they were trying to take over the free city of...
It wasn't Arcan.
Settlers.
Though. It was just...
It was them trying to take over the... It was the Night Haunt going after the free settlement of... the free settlement of Settlers Gain.
Yeah, Archon came later.
Yeah. So
he was the one who did try to re-invade, but first it was just the Night Haunt.
So it was just the Necroquake and the Night Haunt. They were attacking Settlers Gain, and Teclis didn't have it. So
Teclis was like, yes, you have come into my house and you have disrespected my mint.
Yes. How dare you touch my herbs and spices?
My mix of 13 herbs and spices. But yeah, that's what kicked it off.
Yeah. And I found that actually really interesting while reading about that is that if you're scared of the Night Haunt, they kill you, but if you're not, you kill them, and that's kind of a weird thing to me.
Yeah, well, if you're weaponizing fears, I can see if you hold no fear in your heart of them, they can't use it against you.
Which I think is a really big thing for Night Haunt in general, but I'm like, that's kind of stupid.
It's a cool distinction, though. Like, it makes them unique.
So that is one of the important distinctions they make, is that all of the mortals who fought back against the Night Haunt, those who had true faith in like Sigmar and Teclis and things like that, they were actually able to stand and fight against the Night Haunt. Whereas those people whose faith wavered in the face of the Night Haunt, like just fucking
murdered the shit out of them.
Yeah, because it said that the followers of Sigmar, their swords and shields could like catch and parry the Night Haunt's weapons, and they were able to defend themselves against the Night Haunt. Whereas those who didn't have faith, the Night Haunt passed straight through their weapons and just tore their hearts out.
And it wasn't just faith; it was also like if they held no fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this entire battle happens. Thousands died in this battle, and the only reason why the actual free city kind of survived is because Teclis came in and he kind of just beamed all death into extra death, really.
Yeah, Teclis came in with a bunch of other realm lords, and he was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
One of the most interesting things that I think that happened during this battle for the free city was that when Teclis showed up, there were a couple of Night Haunts that actually tried to kill him. And this in my mind, this really shows that Teclis really is the god of magic. And yeah, no, he wielded the winds of death and straight up made the Night Haunts mortal again. It was only like 3 of them.
Wild.
Yeah.
And just to make sure we're clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this wasn't like a calculated attack. I'm pretty sure this was just the Night Haunt attacking the settlement because they were riding the necroquakes.
It was a calculated attack, but I don't think it was a coordinated attack in the grand scheme of things.
Because I think this was a calculated attack by the Night Haunt before they really started serving Nagash.
By the way, going back to your comment, Teclis turned them back into mortal when they were in the sky, so they fell to their death.
Yes.
Which is a hella cool distinction.
Teclis, I'm not going to kill you. Gravity is.
Yeah. So Teclis got pretty pissed about this and wanted to do something to kind of really attack and get underneath Nagash's skin there. So he sent in his own realm lords into Shaiish and was...
Well, part of the other big thing was, like, he literally sent a projection of himself to Nagash in the underworld and was like, dude,
post up,
what
bitch.
The fuck? Yeah, well, no. Initially, he was just like, "Dude, what the fuck? Like, get control over your people."
I'm pretty sure what he like his exact words were like remove your troops from Hish or your empire will fall or something like that. Yes, Matthew.
So I kind of have. Maybe it's too early to ask these questions, but I am genuinely curious.
Go ahead.
I guess the first 2 or 3 questions I have is A, what caused this war? I guess to start. B,
Nagash being a dick.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. B, why is this war so important in the grand scheme of everything that's going on within the realm of this story?
So, in order to really talk about this, what we have to talk about is... Sorry, I need to get...
Oh, my bad.
The grand idea.
Sorry, Matthew and I are having to share a mic right now because we accidentally misplaced one of ours.
Remember when I said we suck and thank you for being okay with it?
We didn't misplace it.
I mean, yeah, we know where it is, but also, like... We kind of picked up Matthew at the last minute because we just, like, we're going to get dinner. And then we were like, hey, Matthew's, like, 5 minutes away from here. Do we want to just go grab him?
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, so to answer your question, really what you need to know about is this event called the Necroquake. So Nagash, the literal only god of death and ruler of Shaiish. He wanted to be more
Quote
powerful.
only.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. No, he's the only god of death because he killed all the other
That's
ones.
still living.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck a god counts as being alive.
Yeah, a god of death especially. But anyway, so Nagash wanted to be more powerful. So he was doing this ritual that was...
I wouldn't say he wanted to be more powerful. The Necroquakes was Nagash's bid to win over everyone. If he had completed the Necroquakes as he wanted to, he would have reigned supreme. He would have been the undisputed ruler of the mortal realms.
Technically, he wanted more power. But
I just feel like it's a little undercutting it. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
Anyway, the point is, he wanted to become more powerful. He wanted to rule over everything. So he was going to perform this ritual that was basically going to cause Shaiish to eat all of the other mortal realms and cause everything to fall into the realm of death.
And also ascend him to like an ascended god that was like even stronger than his current god form. And remember, Nagash is one of the big G's. He was gonna be the only bigger G.
Yeah, this would have put him in a position. It literally would have made him more powerful than all of the gods of chaos combined. Because the gods of chaos rely on the worship of mortals to gain and maintain power.
And if I remember correctly, this ritual would have essentially killed everyone.
Yeah, it would have, basically. So he starts this ritual. And then the Skaven fuck it up. Because, that is literally...
Oh, no, literally, the Skaven fuck it up.
Yeah, no.
Fucking Skaven.
Yeah, no, that is literally basically the point of the Skaven, is just to exist to fuck shit up.
And by the Skaven fucked it up, and what that did instead was it only made the ritual kind of work. So instead, you get the Necroquakes, which was essentially this rolling tide of undeath that swept across all of the mortal realms, which just started raising dead fucking everywhere. It's what
And they-
gave birth to the faction of the Night Haunt.
Which
And
is
the night-
the coolest Scooby-Doo faction ever.
Yeah, so a lot of them are like
No, like
covered in cloaks.
you
and
see
things
Night
like
Haunt just straight up.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, but the necroquakes happen, and it's this massive wave of undeath that travels throughout all of the mortal realms.
And not just that, it also created essentially a gigantic, massive pool of death magic that Nagash could go soak in to temporarily superpower himself. So it kind of worked.
Yeah, and like Jacob mentioned, it caused the rise of the Night Haunts. And the Night Haunts initially had no real, like, cohesion as an army. And so they just ran fucking rampant across all of the mortal realms. Because all of a sudden they were just
Everywhere.
there. And they were very spectral in nature.
They're all
which is-
ghosties, basically.
Which is something that basically hadn't been seen before. So everybody looked at them and were like, what the fuck is that? And then they try and fight them. But again, if you feel fear towards the Night Haunt,
You
there's-
die.
Yeah, they just go right through you and basically eat you like a fucking dementor.
And this had also caused something else called the Arcanum Optimar, which isn't as important to the story, but essentially what it did was this ritual also
It
kind
fucked
of
up magic
it
in
fucked the
regions.
magic up for all of the immortal realms. And by fuck the magic up, I mean it's what gave birth to something called endless spells, where basically I'm casting a fireball. Boop. That fireball is now a spinning fire tornado that's like half a kilometer wide, and it's doing whatever the fuck it wants to do, and we can't stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This actually almost kind of, not to jump into 40K, but it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Slanesh being born because of the Eldar.
Fucking yeah, when Slash
Yeah.
being born, he fucked the
Yeah,
warp up, and
Actually,
yes,
that's a good
it's not-
comparison.
It's kind of
not
akin to it.
Dissimilar, yeah.
It's kind of akin to it, yeah.
Except that instead of like a race accidentally creating a god, it was a god doing god things and then
No,
fucking up.
instead of a race creating a god, it was a god ending a race,
So essentially,
or both actually.
So if my takeaway from that is if Nagash,
Nagash.
if he would have won, he basically would have
Bone Daddy.
boned it.
Elder
He
bone.
basically would have like completely and utterly screwed up the mortal realm. Is that essentially what I'm kind of getting?
Yes,
at?
Yes.
absolutely.
And what makes this war important is that ultimately the end of this war is what ended the Necroquakes, because Teclis kicked Nagash in his bony ass, and basically him defeating Nagash is ultimately what stopped the Necroquakes.
you forget.
And
Nagash didn't lose. Nagash defeated Nagash.
Nagash's biggest enemy is Nagash himself. But ultimately him losing this war, it was a pretty big punch to the dick for the forces of death, because like everyone got their ass kicked. And I don't know if Arcan's back or not in the lore, but if he's not back, that means Arcan, one of his Mortarch, one of his generals on high, dead. I mean, infinitely fucking erased.
So it's stopped. What is that era? The Near Nadar.
The Shaiish Nadar.
It ended the era of the Shaiish Nadar.
The Shaiish Nadar is the big pool of magic that he made.
So it kind of stabilized a lot of the death magic in all the realms, and it sets up the
Age of Beasts, I believe, right?
it sets up for Alariel to do her rites of life, which creates the 3.0, which is the Age of the Beasts.
And just to bring it down really quickly, basically after this, Alariel, who is the elven goddess of light, maybe not elven because she's weird. Is she elven? Elven, kind of a goddess of life. She basically enacted this massive fucking spell that spread life magic throughout.
Which awoken Kragnos.
The winds of a Giron or Gyron,
Giron.
Giron across all of the mortal realms, and it like just fucking forests sprang out of the fucking ground. Beasts ran rampant, and it basically infused life magic fucking everywhere, which woke up Kragnos, who is another god that was trapped in a fucking mountain. And it started what's called the Age of the Beasts, which, like Mitchell said, was basically what 3rd edition was based off of.
Yeah, so in relation to like additions and things like that, this would be something that occurred at the end of 2nd going into 3rd, and it sets up for the conflict that was really big in 3rd edition.
And this is also the reason why, even though Death got a new faction to it, Death wasn't fucking raffle stomping everyone, because everyone kind of got kicked in the dick. Or all of the Death factions kind of got kicked in the dick.
Yeah.
So did Nagash lose because just he was trying to do too much too quickly? He didn't have to.
No,
control his
Nagash
force?
monologued.
Hold on. I mean, yeah, Nagash monologue, but we are going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're going to
We
get
will
to
cover
that.
that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's a lot more to it. But so the entire process, Teclis goes like, "Hey, bro, stop it, please." And Nagash went, "Why are you in my household? Please get out."
Teclis, can you please stop punching my salad? Nagash continuously punching Teclis' salad. stop punching my salad.
No.
And so the attack on Settlers Gain, which was an attack with a Night Haunt, which may or may not have been ordered by Nagash, but was definitely something the Night Haunt did because, like, fuck it, they're everywhere in the Necroquakes. Teclis came in and was like, hey, stop being a bitch. Nagash was like, no. And
so Teclis told the Realm Lords to invade Shaiish.
The realm. Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought you said Nagash told the Realm Lords, and I was like, what?
I thought Teclis went with them as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, he was there too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Realm Lords basically counter invaded Nagash because Nagash was being Nagash.
They didn't want to attack Gothazar because they knew if they attacked Gothazar, which is the home capital of the Oziark Bone Reapers,
Which is another very big death faction.
which is honestly the most powerful death faction.
We're gonna get them bones.
But the entire point was just for them to kind of spark something, like, hey, do something stupid, please. And they did something stupid.
They went there specifically to poke the tiger. Now, to be fair, it went a little wrong for them because technically the Death Factions won that campaign, but the point was, like, the Luminous Realmers wanted to go in there, punch
It was a
them in the
tactical
dick.
victory for the Death Faction, but it was a moral victory for...
Yeah, because they ended up doing what they wanted to do, which was to do something stupid.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, all the Realm Lords that died just became more Bone Reapers.
Yeah, so at this point, the Oziark Bone Reapers were still a relatively new faction in the lore, so no one really knew how they worked. So when the Realm Lords came into Shaiish, started fucking shit up, and then they left, the Bone Reapers were like, well, we taking them gosh darn elven bones and making elven bone daddies, and made more Oziarks off of elven bones, which made a new type of Oziark Bone Reaper.
No, in this entire battle, while the battle was happening, the I forget what they're called.
Mortark?
No, not Mortark. The Mortisans, I think.
The Mortisans were reforging the bones of the elves right in front of the elves and fusing human souls into their souls.
Which was a massive slap to the face.
Which is just the disrespect that was happening to the elves during this.
To give you an idea real quick, the way the Bone Reapers work is they harvest the bones of literally anything they can find. And they take those bones, and then they take the souls of the dead, and they mash a bunch of souls together to create an unholy abomination, and then toss it into their bone constructs. So these things are damn near insane.
And also, it makes them very formidable warriors because you put like 5 minds of fantastic warriors into one fucking skeletal automaton with like 17 arms, each arm being controlled independently by another spirit. Who cares if they're insane as long as they can fight? And then you have this fucking bone centipede walking around murdering everyone.
Skeleton.
Dick skeleton.
They're pretty neat.
Yeah, they're really fucking cool, actually.
Please finish my models.
I thought that I was.
So, real quick, y'all are talking about the what's referred to as the War of Empires, right?
No, the War of Empires comes next.
That comes next.
Or no, this is the War of Empires.
Yeah. So, the sources that I was using to read up on this is the War of Empires section.
Did you scroll down a little more?
Yeah, to the War of the Mortarks.
Ooh, neato.
The site that I was using to do a lot of my reading, it's just blank. It has an entire section dedicated to the War of Empires that's just blank, and I'm like, wow, thanks.
We kind of just covered it.
Yeah. So I know a little bit more about the War of Mortarks.
No, this is the one we're missing so much because this is where Teclis threw a mountain into the sky. And was like, hey, Realm Lords, shoot your arrows down like an AC-130.
I actually no. This is actually funny as shit. So yeah, no. When Teclis came down into Shaiish, there were some mountains that he was just like, "Rise, my children," and basically turned these fucking mountains into floating little bases that like he could have Realm Lords come onto these mountains, then shoot down onto the battlefield to fight. And he had a bunch of artillery and archers on top of them. And he was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, we do an AC-130 shit." So like, cool. We're gonna go to this is also just like one battle basically because all those mountains died. So they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this one city called like the Tri-Crypt or something, where essentially it was this really big area that had a bunch of forts on it, and there was these 3 massive statues, each dedicated to a Oziark Bone Reaper that had done something fucking amazing."
You had Catacross, and I know you had Xantos.
And then I think Landros or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, those are the 3.
Leandros?
The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Really? Right in front of my Codex Astartes?
Yes, right in front of my Codex Astartes. But yeah, and Catacross is actually the Mortarch of the Ozark Bone Reapers. He's the leader, so he had a statue. So basically, Teclis pulls up his forces and these mountains, and he's like, "We're gonna start fucking shit up." And not Morticians, the Mordians, or the bone magic people. Fuck, I can't speak
the
English.
people who actually craft the bone.
They were like
constructs.
He rolled up these flying mountains. They were like, "Word, bitch." So what they did is they animated the massive statues. So one of the mountains got a little too close to the Catacross statue, and they just animated Catacross statue, and Catacross statue went boop and touched it with his fucking massive glaive, and then the mountain suddenly remembered that it can in fact not fight gravity, and it crashed. And then they did it again to the other one with one of the other statues, and it's funny as fuck. And then Tekis was like, "Well, fuck."
Hey, wait, that's illegal.
That's illegal. He eventually came in with a third one, and they managed to blow up all three of the statues. But it definitely became a slog on both sides because Tekis like, "We're doing the thing," and then the Ozarks were like,
No.
Are you though?
And
Are you really?
The only reason
Are
why
you sure about
that
that?
the Bone Reapers are having such a difficult time with this is because Catacross is actually fighting in the 8 points at this moment.
Oh
Yeah,
okay.
the Ozarks
So
are
this-
having a double battle against Chaos at the moment.
Yeah, so at this point in time, the Bone Reapers are making their big appearance on like the grand scene, and yeah, they're currently fighting dipshit Archeon, and they're
dunk my balls in Varanite.
part of what makes that battle so interesting is they were winning.
Yeah, the wild thing is Archeon, this fucking the herald of the apocalypse that was alive in the world that fought Sigmar man to man and didn't and like was kind of holding his own. Some might even say pushing his shit in. Catacross went to a newly resurrected Catacross, I might add, was like, "Cool. What am I gonna do, Dad?" And then Elder Bones was like, "Go fight the single most powerful individual in the setting." And he was like, "Bet, bitch." And he went and fought Archeon and like was kind of holding his out. The big reason why he lost because bitch ass Archeon was like, "Oh no, someone I can't raffle stomp immediately. Got to get my demon horse involved." And his fucking multi-headed fucking abomination came in and started fucking Catacross up, and then Archeon was able to like fuck him up even more, and then basically left a permanent wound on his soul.
Abaddon Jr. I hear.
No,
I'm not sure who I hate.
No. Abaddon is Archeon Jr.
I hate that
as
even more
as
now.
much
Yeah.
as
Because
much as I
Archeon-
hate Archeon, I
Archeon
would say
is a bigger Mary Sue than Abaddon.
Yeah, Archeon's also done more. So like Archeon actually blew up the world and beat everyone. Abaddon hasn't done that yet. Like Archeon actually succeeded in his goal. Like Chaos won fantasy. So like Archeon won.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so that's what Catacross,
Also,
like their leader, was
He
actively
kind
doing.
of won the second time. He brought in the Age of Chaos.
Yeah, but then fucking Sigmar was like, "But what if we just had
Hey, just because you
Space
won,
Marines?"
just because you won doesn't mean you can't
But
lose.
I can't say he won though because Hish and Azir were still basically fine. I would say a win would have been actually getting in all the realms, and they didn't do that.
He won. If
He
you
got
consider-
really fucking close.
If you consider that the war between Chaos and Order is eternal, then yeah, Archeon achieved a short-term victory, but he very much has not won the war yet because Azir and Hish were able to hold their own during the Age of Chaos, and then Sigmar came screaming in with his Space Marines.
God,
and,
poor
like,
fucking
yeah,
Akshi.
yeah.
Poor fucking Akshi. So yeah, that's how that battle went. And that's when they ended up getting all the elf bones because it kind of turned to a massive slog because both sides kind of pulled gotcha moves. And what ultimately ended up is like the three statues got destroyed. They proved their point. They fucked off. And then they're like, "Wait, our bones. Oh no, our bones." And yeah, so after that happened, then you have what's called the War of the Mortarchs because Nagash was like, "Aight, bitch, we doing the thing."
Oh man, can I do Manfred?
Yeah, no, let me set the premise.
Yeah.
Let me set the premise. So essentially, what the War of the Mortarchs is was like Nagash was like, "Okay, my children, come here. Each of you is going to go do a really simple thing. You're each going to go to a realm gate. Realm gates are essentially the magical portals that you use to teleport between the different worlds because every mortal realm kind of exists in its own little like era of existence. Realm gates are how you pass from realm to realm. Nagash was like, each of you is going to go find one specific realm gate, and you're going to blow it up. And when you blow it up, you know that big black hole of magic I soak myself in daily to keep my bones nice and lustrous? You're going to make mini versions of that so I can go fuck elves. Does that make sense?" And they're like, "Sure thing, Dad. We're totally going to do that and not fuck it up. We promise."
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert. They fucked it up.
Yeah, just so you're aware, with the exception of our man Catacross, the entire point of the existence of the Mortarks is to fuck it up.
Is to be massive. No, there's actually a meme of Nagash being like talking to his 3 Mortarks, being Manfred, Neferata, and Arcan, being like, "Do you?"
Well, 5 now technically.
Oh, well, this was the meme didn't have her in there.
There's
Yeah,
6.
Wait, what?
Usharon is technically 1 now.
Yeah.
Usharon's a Mortark. He's the leader of the Flesh Eater Courts.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about.
Lady
Well-
Orland. Lady Orland.
Oh, Ozark has
how could I fucking
2.
forget Orland?
But no, so man,
no,
the
Ozark doesn't have 2. It's the Night Haunts have 1 now.
No, Ozark has 2.
Arcan and Catacross.
Catacross.
We don't talk about Arcan.
I mean, fair. But no, the
I have his
meme was
model. I
Nagash
actually built
talking
his
to
model.
the meme was Nagash talking to Manfred, Neferat, and Arcan, the 3 main suspects of being incompetent. And he was like, "Do you 3 know why you're here?" And they're like, "No." And Nagash was like, "You're all here because you done fucked up too many times." And like that is just them in a fucking nutshell.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah, no,
imagine that it's the professor from Harry Potter going.
Yeah, McGonagall. The
McGonagall just going like.
Whenever
why
he
is
goes wrong, why is it always you 3? No, that is what it fucking it is. They are such amazingly talented leaders and have so much battle prowess that they keep fucking it up. Honest to God, is like it's almost a miracle that it happens so often. It's kind of like if I had a nickel for every time these 3 incredibly ancient and powerful beings lost a battle they shouldn't have lost, and they only lost it because they were fucking stupid and incompetent, I'd have like 97 nickels, which is a fucking problem.
So, but yeah, so Nagash 100% looks at his first 3 Mortarks, which are the ones we were talking about, and he's like, "All of you are disappointments." And then he looks at his new 3 Mortarks, and he's like, "I love all of you. Don't change."
Well, Usharon came recently.
Yeah, okay. Not talking
By
about
recently, I mean
Usharon.
like a year ago, I think.
Well, his model got announced, but
Dude,
anyway.
this is such a good model.
Yeah.
So good.
But no, he looks at Orlander and
Catacross.
Thank you.
And he's like, I don't have favorites. You're my favorites.
yeah.
But point being is he was like, go do these things. These very simple tasks, and don't be stupid. Don't fuck it up. And they're like, sure thing, Dad. We're totally not gonna fuck it up. We promise.
So
Phil,
moving-
take it away.
So moving into the first campaign.
The first fucking.
Yeah. What? You afraid I'm gonna give you cooties or something, Matt?
Oh no, I keep accidentally bumping the desk.
Dog, tongue kiss your homies goodnight.
Hey, excuse me, that's my noise.
Keep the socks on. And
Just
just
a little bit of a.
I apologize for that horrendous noise you just heard.
I'm sorry, children.
No, he's not. He's lying.
Quit telling them our secrets. Okay, so first campaign, the invasion of graphics card. I mean NVIDIA. Yeah, no. So in NVIDIA, the graphics card company, is spelled NVIDIA, right?
NVIDIA, the city or the
NVIDIA,
area.
NVIDIA, the area is called INVIDIA.
So this goes back to my entire rant before about how
If
names
you watched
in
the
this
previous
setting
episode, the naming
piss
thing.
me off
Yeah.
so much.
Oh no, we went on like a 30-minute rant on the other episode about how the names in Age of Sigmar are fucking stupid.
It was 100. Me and Mitchell had a Dragon Ball Z abridged moment where it was like, "What about his lips?" And then Pickle goes, "Oh my God, can we talk about that?"
Yes. Okay, so, Manfred. He goes to Giran.
Me and all the homies all fucking hate Manfred.
He's so stupid. But anyway, so Manfred goes to Giran, and he gets there, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a military fucking prodigy, and I'm gonna put that to use."
On top of an extremely powerful vampire and mage.
Yeah. So he gets to Giran, and he goes not to the section of Giran ruled by Alariel. No, he goes straight into Nurgle's-Tane. And
Because at this point, Nurgle was having an ongoing war with Alariel over Giran, essentially.
yeah, because life. And like Nurgle is his whole thing is, life, death, rebirth.
The cycle.
So yeah,
The not fucked up version of Nurgle is the
Yeah.
cycle of life and death.
So he wants the realm of life to turn it into his garden, because that is going to massively boost his power. And it'll give him a physical realm in which to manifest.
That's assuming he doesn't fully incorporate it into his realm of chaos. Because the whole
Yeah.
thing is like gods can take other realms and put it in the realms of chaos. But if they're in the realms of chaos, it's kind of not the same as being in a physical realm.
But basically, this would give him a solid foot into the mortal realms, and that would also annihilate one of the mortal realms that is an ally to the Alliance of Order.
And he would also get a power boost from it so great he might actually be like winning in the great game.
Yeah, exactly. So, Manfred goes there, and he knows these guys are here. And he's like, I'm about to do something tactical, and it's going to fucking suck, but not for me. And he gets there, and he starts his ritual. and Nurgle's demon prince, who's there, or greater demon.
No, it was one. It wasn't a greater demon. It was one of his more important demons. Fuck.
It looks like horticulture.
The snail motherfucker, right? If I remember correctly, that's his model.
But anyway, he gets there, and it's a very important person for Nurgle. And he gets there and he starts his ritual. And horticulture, that's not his name, but that's what I'm calling him. Horticulture is like, oh, fuck that noise. And so he launches this massive assault against Manfred. And Manfred's like, you've activated my trap card. And proceeds to spring 3 separate traps, all targeting the three most potent generals, including Horticus, in this army. And all of them are like, oh, fuck, we have done fucked. And yeah, Manfred
we may have been bamboozled.
Yeah, and Manfred proceeds to like kind of start winning, and he's doing the ritual, and he's
for
having
fucking
a great
once.
Time. Yeah, and no, he's like gonna win. And Alariel, because Alariel in the Sylvaneth, that's her specific faction. Think of the Wood Elves from Warhammer, or for fantasy.
They're like actual wood.
Yeah. Since they're so deeply tied to this realm, because they literally regrow from it. So the Stormcast, Sigmar takes their souls and reforges them. For the Sylvaneth, when they die, they just go back into the land and then regrow.
Like Alariel makes sure their souls are kept intact, but they just spring back from the land.
Yeah. So they're so deeply tied to this land that they immediately sense the ritual, because it's fucking with the Realm Gate, and the Realm Gates are inherently tied to the land.
And if you remember, they wanted to collapse the Realm Gate to create a miniature Shaiish Nadar, so there was just death magic leaking fucking everywhere.
Yeah. And so they're like, well, that's unacceptable. And so they go charging dick first. And this is the one point where Manfred just kind of drops the ball, is he just doesn't really see them coming. So he doesn't predict them coming. He then sees them coming, and he's like, oh, I have become heir. And he immediately recognizes...
If only that was his only fuck up.
And he immediately realizes, I can't win this. So I'm going to go fuck over my other Mortarks and leave now.
And what Phil didn't mention is I'm almost positive when I was doing research for this, there was a point where Manfred could have collapsed the Realm Gate.
Yeah.
He could have completed his task.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm going to do fucky shit, because what I really want to do is do something in a very specific way so I can go fuck over Neferata. One of the other Mortarks.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing, is that if he had just stayed there and committed all of his forces to hold back Alariel, like, yeah, he and his forces would have been fucking raffled, but they would have won. They would have completed the
death means nothing to them, because Nagash will just resurrect them, and if they, get their job done, maybe he'll be more, have more pep in his step about doing it.
Yeah. And so he 100% could have won, but instead he was like, if I lose my forces here, I can't go fuck over Neferata, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave now, lose this foothold, and just go fuck over Neferata instead.
Who's currently doing one of the other things that Nagash wants her to do.
Yeah, also, important note, Neferata's doing the exact same shit at the exact same time.
Yeah, no, Neferata 100%. Yeah, no, yeah.
All right, take this over. I got to use the restroom.
Yeah. Do you want to do Arcan's one or Neferata's one?
I'm going to paraphrase Arcan's.
Okay, I'll do Neferata's first. Then
okay, my paraphrase of Arcan is not going to be a wall.
That's cool. So, do you want to do Arcan's first then?
So Arcan went into the realm of Heesh, where he then proceeded to get yeeted off the edge. There you go.
I love it. Great story. 10 out of 10. Arcan went in a little too balls, dick first, enemy territory, and he didn't do anything that was super stupid. He just drastically overcommitted, and yeah, he got yoed off the edge of Hish, and is, as far as we're aware,
we really don't
actually dead.
Like, no,
did he come back?
In the rulebook for 4.0, there is a thing where it states they're talking about Arcan being specifically in a different place right now.
Okay, he was removed from the board, which is not something that normally happens to the undead force. Normally they come back. He was removed from the board because essentially Eltharion, but like in the form of a very bright flashlight, fucked him over, because Arcan's actually the one that killed Eltharion.
It's literally light that put on armor and went away.
It's light that wears Eltharion's armor.
My boy Eltharion.
And it's basically So Eltharion died because Arcan killed him. So when Arcan came dick first into Hish, flashlight 40,000 lumens Eltharion was like, oh, run them hands, bitch. And they fought, and Eltharion yoked him off the edge, and he was kind of McFucked. And that's Arcan's paraphrased one. What happened to Neferata is, if I remember correctly, Neferata went to Shimon?
Yes.
Yes. And she was like, okay, I'm going to start doing a ritual with
Hasn't Shimon suffered enough?
Right. Thanks, Zinch. Yeah, she went to Shaman, and she was like doing a ritual, and she was okay. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna like slowly be super sneaky beaky because like that's how I do things, and it was kind of working. And how she's being sneaky beaky, she was basically like the Cardon overlords, which are like the flying dwarfs.
Yeah.
She was like
Dwarves in space.
By the way, you don't know this yet, but the Caradon Overlords actually have the best lore in the entire series.
They kind of do.
Listen, it's gonna be a hella paraphrase, but almost all of the Cardon's lore is basically, and then I started blasting.
So to give you an idea, real quick, not to go on too much.
They are the East Indian Trading Company.
Yeah.
Oh.
So no. So take.
But they're angry short
So
men.
take the dwarves that you know from fantasy, right?
Right.
Literally take them. And except that they realize that their mountain holds can no longer be held because the Skaven are there.
Oh shit.
And so they're like, well, they can't get into our mountain holds if we just put them in the air.
They can't hole us if our mountains fly.
They literally have floating cities.
What the fuck?
They 100% took the notion that gamers don't look up and like made it a lifestyle.
I mean, that's not inaccurate. We really don't.
But so Neferata was like, hey, where we're going to be doing this ritual to like collapse Realmgate is like an area where the overlords come a lot. So she was like subtly kind of making them go different routes. And then there was one captain that was like, why the fuck are y'all taking the longer route? You're making me lose money, motherfuckers. And then she went and checked it out, and she was like, ho, death magic, this is a fucking problem. And she went down there, and there was like some fucking elven twins that were with her, and they figured out Neferata was doing some fucking shit. And then they were like, fuck, gonna go tell I think is pronounced Selenar, who's essentially someone who rolls with Teclis, and then they told Teclis, and they're like, cool, fucking.
Oh no, Selenar is Nagash's like bonded spirit animal thing.
Nagash's?
Teclis.
There you go. Yeah, but is also like the spirit of the moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they were like, hi elves, I choose you, and they basically the Kakaradon overlords and the Kakaradon overlords.
You keep putting two K's in it.
I like saying the Kakaradon overlords came in with the Luma
Shark dwarves.
Shark dwarves. Oh my
God.
The Kakaradon overlords, and the Lumineth Realm Lords came in and kind of spit roasted Neferata, and she was like, ruh-roh, and then she fucked off. And then right before she fucked off, she basically collapsed the mountain she was doing. What really happened is I think the Realm Lords like animated the mountain spirit, and the mountain spirit was like, I don't appreciate you murdering me, and began fucking raffle stomping all of Neferata's shit. And she was like, I'm collapsing your home, bye. And she 100% just dumped the mountain on them, and she fucked off. I don't really think she did anything that was specifically wrong, but it was more just like she didn't see shit coming that she probably should have seen coming. But also, she was also trying to stab Manfred in the back, so like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Neferata is one of the old OG original Tomb Kings. She's fucking ancient.
Neferata is the original vampire.
She is.
That's right. I'm thinking of someone else. God, it's been too long since I've done this.
If I remember, she was actually a Tomb King, but she was the one who she was the one who became the first vampire.
She was originally Nagash's czar.
Yeah.
But she became the first vampire because she seduced Arcan.
Giggity. Anyhow,
It kind of sounds like the forces of order were just fighting everything everywhere all at once, all at the same
that's
time.
everyone.
Yeah.
And the forces of chaos. It seems
So the
like
forces of order fight the forces of order plus everybody else.
Yeah, and it seems like Nagash's forces and the forces of chaos just weren't very organized with all this. And that seems to be
the
their
forces
biggest
of chaos
weakness.
are actually hellaciously organized in a really weird way. No, what happened is that the fucking forces of death just can't stop kicking themselves in their own ass. So all of this happens.
Except the Ozark Bone Reapers.
Yeah, they just get shit.
fucking
Like
work.
the Oziark Bone Reapers do work,
when they're
and
when they're under categories.
and when they lose, it's just because they get shafted, or it's because Nagash took the reins and monologued to death. So all of this happens, and then
the
again,
Flesh Eater courts never really lose.
are insane.
Because if you don't remember you losing, do you really lose?
If you can't remember it, did it
No,
really
no.
happen?
If you never had a plan, is there ever a plan to fail at and therefore lose?
The American Doctrine.
Right? Fucking for real, bro. So then Nagash is like, fine, I'll do it myself. And he goes back to the area that Arcan was at, and he himself comes in like with an avatar, and he starts fucking shit up, and he's like using some trapped elven souls that he had to kind of keep the Lumineth Realm Lords from like bombing his area shit, and he's doing all kinds of head assery, and the Realm Lords are like,
Why?
you bitch. I doth bite my thumb at thee, good sir. And so they start duking it out. There's a bunch of fucking crazy shit going on. Like Nagash and Teclis start fighting each other. Nagash
Oh,
has
now we're in
Reset.
Haish.
yeah. Now we're in Hish. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is
we're
past the War of the Mortar because now Nagash himself is there.
Did I miss Arcan's?
Oh, it was me stating he went in there, he failed, he got yeeted off the edge.
I wish I could say that wasn't accurate in basically the entire story, but yeah, that's pretty.
That's
fucking
kind of
much
it.
The entire story.
There's
yeah.
really not much else.
So yeah, so like there's this huge fight going on, and Nagash is 1v1ing Teclis, and Nagash has some of his fucking goddamn what are they called? I keep wanting to say morticians. That's not the name. It's like
They are now morticians.
bone crafters basically that are like feeding him. They're like feeding
Mortisans.
him mortisans. Yeah, they're feeding him power in his fight, and they're like they're like burning out their souls to give him power. And he's duking out with Teclis, and he's like, "Hey Teclis, be spooked." And Teclis is like, "Oh no, if I'm spooked, I'm gonna die," and all kinds of crazy fucking shit's happening. The Luma's Realmers are duking it out with fucking with the Ozark Bone Reapers, and the elves have learned from their past mistakes, so they're like burning their dead and crying while they're doing it. And it's important to say that the Luminous Realmers that are fighting have been the ones that have been that have been fighting the Mortarks constantly. So they're like PTSD'd as fuck and like utterly exhausted. And they're like, "We're gonna go to this place and we're gonna get some rest." They got there and they're like, "Why the fuck is Nagash here?" So like they're exhausted as fuck, but also they're seeing Nagash commit grievous war crime upon their land and their like native animals and their people, and they're like, "I am now fueled by incomparable amounts of rage." So they start fucking shit up, and it's kind of not going good for Teclis. Like Teclis is holding his own, but like he's a little outmatched at this point.
Yeah.
Then
He tries to like translocate him and Nagash somewhere else, so like Nagash can't do fucky shit, but then Nagash essentially hits him in the fucking diaphragm with his staff and like does weird magic shit to him, and then they get shot back to their battlefield, and Teclis is like, "Fuck, my things aren't working." And then from the top rope with a steel fucking chair, the people from the settlement of Settlers Gain come out of fucking nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, remember when we had Luminarchs of Hish that shoot light magic through focus lenses so they could essentially bomb you at range with super powerful penetrative light magic? Get fucked, bitch." And they start no-scoping Nagash. Because when the Night Haunt came to Settlers Gain and they got beat back, Settlers Gain was like, "Oh no, all of our friends are dead. Are you sad?" "Nope, what are you?" Doom music ensues. So they were just angry as fuck. And, God, I think I forgot. I don't think they were quite there. They were like shooting him through a fucking realm gator. They were doing something weird, but they were essentially just bombing fucking Nagash with artillery light magic basically. And Nagash is like, "Help, I have fallen and I can't get up." And then Teclis is like, "Be gone, thought," and then Teclis delivers the killing blow with the help from the Settlers Gain. He'd animated the spirits of the fucking mountain, and ultimately after he kind of kicked Nagash in the dick, he kind of crafted the same chains that they used to bind Slaanesh to bind Nagash down to the mountain, and then all of the mountain spirits picked up hammers and just beat the shit out of him. 100%.
The spirits of the mountains, these are physical creatures. They are minotaurs, just basically encased in solid plate mail, except that the size of large hills.
Oh Jesus!
they're like that tall on the table, and they got really cool models.
Yeah,
And
and they carry massive fucking warhammers.
Yeah, no, basically Teclis tied down Nagash to the mountain, and all the spirits were like, "Give me your lunch money." And they literally pulverized him.
Run them pockets.
Run them pockets, bitch.
Mugged his ass.
And they literally pulverized the bones of the Avatar, sending his soul screaming back to the underworld that's kept in Nagash's R, and that defeat is what ended the Necroquakes.
So what I'm hearing is get fucked, get bent, drop dead, Mal Delseed, coke.
Also, cry is free.
Because now why did the Necroquake stop because of that? Was it because the books of Nagash was also destroyed?
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I'm sorry, I think you're reminding me. In that fight, Teclis disintegrated Nagash's 9 books of Nagash.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, he was not. That was actually why Teclis had to translocate themselves to a different place, because basically he fucking set Nagash's diary on fire, and Nagash was like, "I'm going to start screaming so loud that the mountain starts collapsing," and Teclis was like, "Oh shit!" And yeah, that was a really big one. But the reason why it stopped the Necroquakes. It's fucking super dope. The reason why it stopped the Necroquakes was I have to remember. It wasn't just because he died.
$27 dues.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Oh, you also say dollar reduce?
Yeah.
That I only ever say dollar reduce.
That's what it was. Teclis did like a fucking rune of banishment and sanctity, and it like basically that powerful runic light magic like washed over all of the fucking mortal realms, and it pushed back all the lingering death magic, and it shut the necroquakes off. Because after Teclis beat Nagash, he was like, "This shit fucking ends now. Be gone, what?" And just fucking like Mr. Cleaned the entire mortal realms.
So
that's what
Nagash
ended
was
it.
kind of like seeking to become ruler of the mortal realms and like stronger than all the chaos gods. Was chaos like capitalizing on the situation, or were they trying to?
No,
Like, stop
Chaos had
Nagash
their
too?
handful with Catacross.
Yeah, so at this point, the reason we don't see Catacross in this campaign
Which
is because
Catacross is the real OG.
he really is.
That man is spooky.
He's a tactician that actually hand-to-hand combats Archeon with ease.
Yeah,
Hashtag fuck Archeon.
Yeah, he was when I was saying that Archeon had to get his horse involved, and then after the fucking stupid horse got involved and started fucking Catacross up, Archeon stabbed him, and it left like a permanent wound on Catacross's soul. Yeah, that's him. That's Catacross. That's the Mortarch of the Ozark Bone Reapers.
yeah.
So yeah.
So, well, what I was gonna say real quick is, at this point in time, the Ozark Bone Reapers are still fighting Chaos in the
8 points.
Thank you, in the 8 points.
Oh,
Which
okay.
the 8 points is this like pseudo realm. It's basically where all the realm gates come together.
It was called the All Points, but one of the big points of the realm during the realm of Chaos was Archeon came to the realm points, took it over, and heavily corrupted it, and kind of gave Chaos a permanent like in to the mortal realms. And so Nagash was like, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take it, because Archeon initially wasn't there. He was off trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with Slanesh and why he's not around. And Catacross was like, I found your spare keys under your under your house plant, and I'm taking your shit. And then they started fucking shit up. Archeon ended up getting there. Shit got fucking crazy. Ultimately, the plan failed. But yeah, they were
At
dealing
one
with
point-
that.
At one point, Catacross won so thoroughly initially that he actually sat on Archeon's throne.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because Archeon had a throne in the 8 points, and yeah, no, he straight up was just like, I'm gonna sit on this now, just to prove a fucking
The
point.
disrespect. Yeah, I love it. Fuck Archeon. So
Okay.
I'm kind of curious. What were some of the bigger names during this, like Emperor Carl Franz, Altharion, some of the other bigger
Okay,
names?
so Emperor Carl Franz is dead, heavy on the air quotes, because almost everybody is almost 100% certain that he's the Celestin Prime.
Yeah.
It's either him or Beagelt, so like...
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Carl Franz.
It might be Magnus.
Oh, Magnus
Oh, yeah.
Pius.
It might be Magnus Pius.
Yep, Magnus Pius.
That's another one.
But yeah, so...
It would have been easier to do no, not Biga. Carl Franz, because his soul would have been more fresh when the end times happened.
Yeah, but so a lot of the characters that you're thinking of from Total War, they aren't really around anymore. Like, we've kind of named all the big ones that are still around.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the named characters that you would come across inside of these conflicts.
Croak is there.
Oh yeah, Croak's still around.
Croak doesn't count. He has his own fucking thing.
Yeah, no, Croak died and then ascended to basically be a living martyr.
Remind me who Croak is again? I forget.
Big Toad Boy.
Mummy Toad Boy. Mummy Frog.
Part of the lizard?
Yes, part of the lizard,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Also, the Lizardmen,
gotcha.
the Lizardmen are the only faction that didn't die in the end times, because they got in their. Remember, all the temples in Total War that the Lizardmen, that's like their bases.
Yeah.
They're also spaceships, and they literally launch into whenever they're like the rats are throwing the moon at us.
Oh,
they were
that's
like,
right.
we're fucking leaving, and they launch into space.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, most of my knowledge to everyone who's listening kind of comes from Total War and like Sears and Phil explaining it to me. So that's why like I'm so like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Who's that? Who's that? Where are they from?
You're good. You're good. And the Lizardmen are actually, they're called the Seraphon now. That's actually the reason why mortal realms were kind of found, was because Dracotheon, who is a god beast. God beasts are essentially semi-god, semi-deific like animals. Some are sentient, some aren't. That exist in the mortal realms, and Dracotheon is one of the nice ones. It found the
Malus.
the lizard men just kind of like in fucking space, and they're like, he was like, oh cool, what's this? And he flew up, and he I don't think he psychically connected. I think he like drank their tears or something crazy. I forget exactly what it is, but essentially he got the memories from the lizardmen about what happened. No, that's what happened. He had connected with the Slan that were still awake on the ship, and he saw what happened in end times, and it
shit.
fucking traumatized him so bad that he flew back to the room like crying, and the lizardmen are like, follow them sparkly tears. And that's how they got to the fucking mortal realms. And I think in that process, either they brought Malice with them, Malice being essentially the core of the old world, or Dracothion found it and brought it in. Or no, Dracothion
Sigmar was found
on Malice, and I think
Malice,
Dracothion found it, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then him and Sigmar were immediately like best friends forever.
Besties for life.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Dracothion and Sigmar together basically hauled Malice into the realm of Azir. So Malice is now the moon of Azir.
Yeah. But that's how.
But there is a shard of Malice in Gurren. Gur at Excelsis, and it's kind of seen as a very prophetic thing. You can get like a bit of it and kind of can see the future.
But yeah, that's how the Lizardmen got. So the Lizardmen are actually the only like actually whole ass race that didn't just get genocided. Not that it really matters, because now none of the Seraphon actually exists, because all the ones that were on the spaceship kind of like died or got Yote, and all of the Seraphon that you technically see in AOS are literally just the Slan, essentially.
They're just imaginary friends.
Yeah, no, the Slan remember the Lizardmen as they were, and it brings them into being. So all of the Seraphon that aren't the Slan specifically are essentially imaginary friends that the Slav like think into existence.
And I haven't heard y'all mention the Chaos Dwarves during this, or they were like dead gone, or...
we don't know what's up with the chores.
Okay. So the big thing about Chaos Dwarves is that Chaos Dwarves never really they never actually had models, did they?
No, they did. They exist in Age of Sigmar. They just don't have their own faction yet. There are kind of rumored, because you got Hobgrots, which is a very big Chaos Dwarf thing. You have the Horns of Hashut, which Hashut is the Chaos Dwarf god. And so they're kind of getting there, but it's a slow process.
We may or may not get a chore faction before we are all in the retirement home.
Yeah.
The big thing when it comes to Chaos Dwarves and a lot of the factions that you see in Total War Warhammer is a lot of them were minor factions that didn't really exist. Like, for instance, Kislev and Cathay.
Yeah.
Neither of them had tabletop models. Neither of them ever had...
Like Chaos Dwarves did have tabletop
Well, no,
models.
I'm talking about Kislev and Cathay.
Yeah, Kislev and Cathay existed in the fantasy lore. Kinda.
They existed in lore, and they did do some important things, but they never really
Kislev a lot more than Cathay. Kislev had a lot of lore because they were so close to the Empire, and they were kind of the bulwark against chaos. But Cathay was like, it exists, and that's about all you're getting.
Yeah, and we know that, like, Deathmaster Snitch, a really important...
Skaven.
Thank you. Really important Skaven. He went to Cathay, and that's where he learned to be a ninja.
Yeah.
That's why he starts in Cathay.
That's where Master Splinter learned to raise the turtles.
I don't want to bust anyone's balls here, but we should wrap up this episode soon.
Oh yeah, no, we are sorry. No, that's basically it. Fucking Teclis, Mollywop, Nagash, and then did the whole Rune of Banishment into the Necroquakes, and that's kind of where it fucking ends.
Yeah, I'm assuming Nagash is like dead or banished or something.
No,
like
he got.
He goes back to Shaiish.
Well, remember, it's an
regains
avatar.
power.
It's an avatar in Nagash.
Oh, right.
Like his soul inhabits the avatar, but it's not his like true like physical being, because he's like too powerful to like exist in the physical world like normally.
The big thing here is that at this point in time, he was soaking in the Nazir.
Shaiish Nadar.
Nadar, not Nazir. He was soaking in the Nadar for so long that, like physically pushing his energy through a realm gate basically would have broke it. And not in the way he wanted.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about when he actually got through the realm gate into Hish, he was like, fuck yeah, let's fucking go, because like he was not sure if it was going to work.
I got one last question, and then I'll shut the fuck up. Sorry, Mitchell. I know you're tired.
Ask questions, please.
Which named character or characters within the factions of Order were probably the most pivotal during this entire campaign of war?
Teclis. Alariel.
Who exactly is Teclis? I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with the character.
He's one of the gods of the High Elves. He's
the god of
magic.
Oh, okay.
Alariel was really important too, because whenever Nagash was like basically shoving a bunch of really fucked up nightmares into Teclis' head, trying to make him fear, because if he feared any of those nightmares, he would essentially make them into reality, and he would die. Because like in his nightmares, he was like filling them up with black sand, and like fucking exploded and all kinds of crazy shit. Teclis started meditating to kind of get through it, and Alariel actually like shot him with like magical bullshit, and it kind of helped him have clarity of mind, and that's how he was able to throw off the yoke of Nagash's bullshit.
Oh man, okay, no. Real quick, I have a meaning for this.
Oh no.
So yeah, Alariel was very important. Teclis was very important. Altharion when he defeated Arcan was pretty
My boy
important.
Altharion.
Yeah. Selenon or Selenar, which is essentially Teclis' bound beast friend. Kill yourself.
Let me see.
Is that my boy?
So that's an old world meme.
Just no. But yeah, those very pivotal. There's a couple of those that I can't think of right now. Those are like the big ones.
So since you actually do play Total War, you might actually get this joke.
Okay, well,
I think that about wraps it up.
yeah, that should be it.
I would share this meme with the class, but it's a little too spicy.
A little bit. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We will hopefully see y'all in 3 weeks. We'll be posting the whole voting for the next episode and whatnot soon. And yeah, peace out. Everyone say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for having me.
Hasta luego.
Peace out. Bye. Have a beautiful time.